Imagine waking up one day, feeling a sharp crack in your hip from something as simple as stepping off a curb, only to learn that your bones have been quietly vanishing from the inside out. Shocking, right? Did you know that osteoporosis, this insidious condition, affects over 200 million people worldwide, according to the World Health Organization, and it's often dubbed the silent thief because it erodes your bone strength without any early fanfare. But here's the promise. By the end of this video, you'll uncover the hidden causes, the subtle signs most folks overlook, and actionable steps to safeguard your skeleton before it's too late. Stick with me, because this could be the wake-up call that saves you from a life of fragility. Let's start by demystifying what osteoporosis really is. In simple terms, it's a disease where your bones lose density and become porous, almost like a sponge that's been squeezed dry, making them brittle and prone to breaks. Think of your bones as the sturdy framework holding your body together. When osteoporosis strikes, that framework starts to crumble invisibly. Why does this matter? Well, it impacts millions, leading to painful fractures that can steal independence and even shorten lives. The CDC reports that about 20% of women and 4% of men over 50 in the US have osteoporosis in key areas like the hip or spine. To put a human face on it, meet Elena, a lively 62-year-old grandmother who loved gardening. She dismissed her nagging back aches as just getting older until a minor slip in her kitchen resulted in a shattered wrist. Tests revealed her bones had been disappearing for years, turning what should have been a golden retirement into a battle against constant fear of falling. Stories like Elena's are all too common, and they highlight why understanding this disease is crucial. It's not just about bones, it's about preserving your freedom to live fully. But here's the thing, osteoporosis doesn't just happen overnight. Let's break it down with the first major point, the sneaky causes behind this bone erosion. At its core, your body is constantly remodeling bones, breaking down old tissue and building new. Osteoporosis kicks in when breakdown outpaces rebuilding, often due to hormonal shifts like the drop in estrogen during menopause for women or testosterone in men as they age. Nutritional deficits play a huge role too. If you're skimping on calcium or vitamin D, it's like trying to build a house without enough bricks. Your bones weaken over time. Certain medications, such as long-term steroids or conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, can accelerate this process. Picture your skeleton as a savings account. Healthy habits are deposits, but poor diet, inactivity, or even excessive alcohol acts as constant withdrawals, leaving you bankrupt when you need strength the most. For instance, take someone who's been on high-dose corticosteroids for asthma. They might not realize these meds are quietly leaching minerals from their bones, setting the stage for disaster. And trust me, recognizing these causes early can change everything. Next up, we'll dive into the warning signs that whisper before they scream. And number 2 might be hiding in your daily routine. Moving on to those elusive symptoms, osteoporosis is notoriously quiet in its early stages, which is why it's so dangerous. You might not feel a thing until a fracture occurs, but subtle clues can emerge if you know where to look. Persistent back pain from tiny vertebral fractures, a gradual loss of height as spinal bones compress, or a stooped posture that makes you look older than your years. These are the red flags. Imagine termites silently hollowing out the wooden beams of your home. By the time the structure sags, the damage is done. A common example is the dowager's hump, that forward curve in the upper back from collapsed vertebrae, which Elena noticed in the mirror but chalked up to poor posture from her desk job. Other signs include easily broken bones from minor impacts, like fracturing a rib from a cough or a wrist from catching yourself in a fall. But here's a cool insight. Gum recession or loose teeth can sometimes signal jawbone loss, an overlooked early indicator. If any of this rings a bell, don't brush it off. Early detection through a simple bone density scan can be a game changer. And speaking of risks, wait until you hear about the factors that put you in the crosshairs. The third one is a shocker that hits closer to home than you think. Now let's talk about who's most vulnerable. The risk factors that turn osteoporosis from a possibility into a probability. Age is the big one. After 50, bone loss accelerates, especially in women post-menopause due to that estrogen plunge. Genetics play a part too. If your mom or dad had fragile bones, your odds go up. Low body weight or a small frame means less bone mass to begin with, like starting with a smaller fortress to defend. Lifestyle choices amplify the threat. Smoking poisons bone-building cells, while heavy drinking interferes with calcium absorption. Sedentary folks miss out on weight-bearing exercise that stimulates bone growth. Think of it as your bones needing a workout, just like your muscles. Surprisingly, even excessive caffeine or soda intake can leach calcium if not balanced with dairy or greens. I actually recall a friend who was a marathon runner but skipped strength training. She was stunned to learn her low-impact routine wasn't enough to protect her bones, leading to an early diagnosis. These risks stack up, but knowledge is power. Identifying them lets you pivot. But the real eye-opener is how these lead to severe complications, which we'll tackle next. And point 4 will explain why ignoring this could cost you your mobility. Diving deeper, the complications of osteoporosis are where the real heartbreak lies, turning a manageable issue into a life-altering crisis. Fractures are the headline act. Hip breaks alone affect over 300,000 Americans yearly per the CDC, often requiring surgery and months of rehab. These aren't just painful. They can trigger a downward spiral of immobility, pneumonia from bed rest, or even blood clots. Spinal fractures cause chronic pain and deformity, robbing people of height and confidence, while wrist breaks limit daily tasks like cooking or driving. In severe cases, it's linked to higher mortality rates, especially in older adults, where a hip fracture can shorten life expectancy by years. Metaphorically, it's like a domino effect. One weak bone topples, and the whole system falters. Elena's wrist fracture was her wake-up. It forced her into therapy, but she wishes she'd caught it sooner to avoid the fear that now shadows her every move. Here's the encouraging flip side, though. Understanding these outcomes motivates action, and that's where our solutions come in, with tips that are simpler than you might expect. The good news, osteoporosis isn't inevitable. With practical steps grounded in research from places like Mayo Clinic, you can build back your bone fortress. Start with nutrition. Aim for 1,200 milliliters of calcium daily from sources like yogurt, kale, or fortified almond milk. Think of it as replenishing your bone bank. Vitamin D is your sidekick. Get 600-800 IU from sunlight, salmon, or supplements to help absorb that calcium. Lifestyle tweaks make a difference. Incorporate weight-bearing exercises like walking, dancing, or light weights 3 times a week. These signal your body to strengthen bones, much like stress testing a bridge to make it tougher. Quit smoking and limit alcohol to 1 drink a day for women, 2 for men, to halt the erosion. For those at higher risk, talk to your doctor about bone density tests starting at 65 for women, 70 for men, or earlier if factors apply. Medications like bisphosphonates can slow loss, but always under medical guidance. I love this one tip. Add a quick morning routine of jumping jacks or stair climbing. It's easy, fun, and backed by studies showing it boosts bone density. Small changes add up, and many, like Elena after her diagnosis, reverse early stages through diet and movement alone. You're empowering yourself here one step at a time. Wrapping it all up, we've explored how osteoporosis silently makes bones disappear through causes like hormonal shifts and poor nutrition, symptoms that sneak up like back pain or height loss, risks from age to lifestyle, and the devastating complications of fractures that steal vitality. But armed with preventive tips, from calcium-rich eats to bone-building exercises, you can take control and protect your future. If any of these signs feel familiar, don't wait. Schedule that doctor's visit or bone scan today. Early action can literally save your bones and your life. Drop a comment below sharing if you've noticed any subtle changes or what tip you'll try first. Your story might help someone else. And if this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe for more empowering health insights, and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. Thanks for watching, stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.